Hi everybody, it's that time. I've got it on landscape. I was trying a new thing, so let's go and find Nana.
It's not 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
No.
we're on landscape.
Oh, we're on landscape as well.
Tried it.
Have you worked that out?
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Let me shut this fucking wailing witch off.
Afternoon. Hi to Joe, hi to Russell.
Hiya, Russell, Joe.
Sue, Claire, Ellie, Peter Whitehead, Liam Rylan.
Oh my God, you're
loads
all
of people
firing
coming
up.
This is good on landscape. I'm glad.
Is it much better? Have you glad
Yeah.
you worked that out?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, great. That's fabulous.
We'll use it on landscape. Don't
I'm that thrilled I could shit. It's fabulous. Afternoon, everybody. Anyway, just having a quick flip through the Laura Ashley. I feel like redecorating. Anyway, let's shift that.
You won't be redecorating.
Oh, of course we will. You know, what's the point in you saying that, David, when you know? By the way, we were compared this morning to the internet version of Phil and Holly.
Were we?
Yeah.
Who's Phil and who's Ollie?
Well obviously for Phil. Unless Phil's got a dirty big pair of tits. Mind you, you don't know, he's come out with a lot of things at the moment. So that could be a new one. So, good afternoon, everyone. So,
Hi to Clive.
who's just joined us?
Hi Clive.
Clive. Hi, Clive, love. You all right?
Hi Steve.
Which Steve?
Pub Steve.
Oh, hi, Steve, love.
Laura Ashley's closed down, Sue said.
You're alright, Pop. Yeah, but the Laura Ashley catalogue I'm looking through, Sue, is...
Hi, Pauline.
Is dated 1983.
Yeah, well, good luck with that.
Okay, so, because I don't buy from the store. Everything, all my Laura Ashley, everybody asks me where I get it from. Every single thing in the house is Laura Ashley, but it's all vintage. Nothing goes beyond about 89, maximum. So everything is vintage and I have to buy it at auction. Okay.
Hi Stephen.
Cost 5 times as much than it did when it was in the shop, but there you go.
Russell said greetings from Southport.
Oh, nice, Southport. Pissing down in Southport, and it is here. I went to bed last night and David said, don't forget to put the covers and all the patio furniture, and I forgot, and everything is absolutely dripping, ringing, soaking wet. So I'm far from freaking amused.
Dripping. Hi Rebecca.
Right, then we'll get on. Hiya, Becky. You alright, love?
Your mum's watching, she's got nothing better to do.
No, she's got absolutely nothing better to do.
Good
She'll
afternoon.
be in the living room.
Holly,
I'll get
John,
some bits and pieces together.
Laura.
We're going to make fabulous cupcakes today.
Leanne.
So, where do you want me
Idel.
for likewise, Ducky?
Stay there.
Is there okay?
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Alright. So I'll just get the mixer bowl.
Hi Kim.
Which Kim?
Benison.
Who?
Benison.
Oh, hiya Kim, love. Joining us. Right then, so this, honestly, it's so easy. This is one of the easiest recipes, and I played with this an awful lot because there's millions of recipes for raspberry cupcakes.
Yes, I know Pauline said hello. I've answered her, Peggy. Butt out.
Right, there's a million recipes out there for cupcakes and raspberry ones, sorry, before I was so interrupted. And every one that I did, it didn't work out right. So, and I didn't like the way the fruit lobbed to the bottom even when you toss it because it's a soft fruit. So I'm going to teach you the best way to do it. So this is the easiest. This is your cake base, and it's an all-in-one cake. So you don't need to add a million different things to it and start creaming butter and all the rest of it. There's just no need for any of that rubbish. So into the bowl, you're going to put 8 ounces of room temperature butter, 8 ounces of sugar, 8 ounces of self-raising flour, okay, 4 large eggs.
Don't be so rude. I'll lock you in your bedroom if you carry on.
4 eggs. And then 2 teaspoons of baking powder, okay? Even though it's self-raising, because we're doing an all-in-one method, you're not beating any air into it. So it needs a little bit of extra help on its raise. And then a little glug of vanilla essence.
Hi Sean.
About, which Sean?
Grimshaw. Pub Sean.
Hiya Sean. About 2 teaspoons, okay? That's going to go into the mixer.
Are you well, Sean? You missing the pub?
Always start your mixer off on slow or it fires absolutely everywhere, even though I've got a guard on. And then just whip it up high for about 5 minutes. I'm going to get some raspberries. Right, these are fresh raspberries that I've frozen. You can use them directly from fresh if you want. I just find if you're frozen, they work better. I tried it with fresh, you don't seem to get as much of a melty fruit. So my fresh, freeze them first. It's either the freezing in a matter of minutes, okay?
Hi, Jay. Jackie's watching.
Who is?
Jackie.
Jackie, are you Jackie? You alright, kid?
She's far from a kid now, Jesus Christ.
Well, no, she's not. She's an old bag. So I shall get rid of that. We need some cupcakes. Now.
Good afternoon, Chris.
If you're going to serve them in the papers, which I don't, if you serve it for a dessert, which I do, I like the paper to come off. So I use these ones, okay, which is like, it's I don't really want to open it all. It's like crinkled together. If you use the ordinary paper ones, they'll stay. The thing is with these, when you put them to cool, the actual paper will move away from it, okay, because I want them without the paper. Right, so into each one, medium size ice cream scoop.
Hi, James. Hi, Gillian. Hi, Terry. Chris said, hi, Terry, you feeling better after Sunday?
Which Chris?
Chris Heap.
Yeah, I'm fine, Chris. I was tad hungover on Monday.
I wouldn't say a tad.
What would you say?
I would say severely. Beans I went to Birmingham on my own.
Yeah, I was absolutely
Hi, Nicola.
ill. The problem is, it's because I've not been drinking during lockdown. That's why. So I'm just not used to drinking booze all the time. And when you start whipping that amount down, and I'm sure he wasn't having full measures. Sure
I had the same as you.
Don't think
in fact, I had more because mine's are pints, but you just can't handle your booze.
Yeah, I used to be able to.
Hiya, Lynn. Hiya, Ian.
Which Lynn?
Lynn Brassington.
Oh, right. So you've got your cup. Come in and show. You need to come in and show. So as you put one scoop in, okay, in each holder.
Ice cream scoop.
Yeah, an ice cream scoop. About 3 raspberries, which I've just said were frozen. 3 or 4. Just drop them on the top.
I don't like filming you on landscape.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
I just don't like it. It might be better on live when we do live feed, like drinks and that, but
yeah,
I'm finding it awkward, to be honest.
To hold.
Yeah.
It's
Hi,
probably,
Douglas.
What you should have done was probably taken the phone out of its case. Which would probably been easier to hold.
Let me
or
try.
If you had the little holder thing, what you call it, the selfie stick thing.
Bear with me, guys. I'm just going to set the phone out of the case, so the camera's going to go all over the place now. If I can get the thing out. We've done. We're out, I think.
How's that?
Oh.
Are you better?
No, it's not made any difference.
No, it's just because you're not used to holding the phone that way.
It's probably.
Right, so what you've basically got is you've got your cake mixture in
Chris said it was the funniest of nights.
Coco did. Who said that?
Chris.
Oh, Chris did. Right, come in on this a minute for me. You've got your cake mix in and, as I said, about 4 raspberries just frozen across the top. Just sort of press them with your finger so they go into the cake mix.
Sarah said we're both so funny on Sunday.
Into an oven, preheated 170 for fan oven. You'll have to Google for gas because I forgot to do it again. I keep forgetting.
Someone can Google it and put it on it.
So somebody Google what the gas mark is. It's 170. They're going in on. That's my oven's fan. Okay. So 170 fan.
Douglas likes the nail colour.
You like the nail colour, Douglas? I do. I usually have red.
Good evening. Good afternoon, Danny.
This is like cystitis pink.
Danny McCall's afternoon.
Hiya, Danny. You alright, love?
Hiya, Dean. Dean Ellis.
Hi, Dean.
Hi, PJ.
Right, now, it's not all good cookery shows. I do have some I prepared earlier. Just give me one sec.
Lovely legs, David. Thanks, PJ.
Right, this is what your finished product will come out like, okay? And as you see, these papers I've used...
Clive, you must need a stick if you think I'm looking very smart.
They just literally peel away. When it's a normal cupcake paper, they don't. They sort of stick. And if you're going to serve it as a dessert...
Danny said...
Can we hang on before Danny said with this?
All right.
This is technical.
Is it?
Before...
I'll cut you off in a minute if you carry on with your lip.
Right. Yes.
Hi, Gary.
those cupcake papers peel away. If you're going to serve it as an actual dessert, don't serve it in a paper. Honestly, that's like an afternoon tea. If it's going to be after dinner and it's going to be dessert that you're going to eat with a fork, you need it out the paper, and that's how it comes out. See how the raspberries have actually just stayed inside the cake.
Thanks, Chris. Gas mark 5.
Not dropped to the bottom. It's gas mark 5, is it? Marvellous. So now we know. Right. So, is there any questions before?
Well, Danny.
Yeah.
McCall said, "Fuck off, you pair of you with your raspberries." Smashed the lot over Davy's head.
She's not a full shilling, Danny McCall, I swear to God. That's a famous actor carrying on like that, dear. God in heaven.
Beautiful,
right,
PJ said.
Need to mix the bowl. Right, we're going to make the frosting. I have given you the frosting measurements on Facebook for that mixture. I've only just put 12 in the oven, it makes 24. Okay? So the amount of frosting I've given you is for 24 cakes. If you're going to do what I've done, I don't frost every single one because they go dry. You're not going to eat them unless you're going to eat the 24 in one go. So for purposes now, I've halved what is actually on the internet, okay? Because I don't want that amount today. Because what I tend to do is I will bake them off like that, and then I will let them go cold and I'll freeze them in the papers, and then I can take out what I need, and you can frost them from frozen. So you can make the frosting up in half amounts, okay? So into this bowl now, you are going to put, I have, so on the internet it was a pound of cream cheese and half a pound of butter. So this is half the amount. So that's the butter going in, your cream cheese going in, and then into that you want...
PJ's coming back to visit us and eating them all.
You want a little glug of vanilla.
A glug, that's the new word today, guys.
Is that a new word, glug?
Glug.
And then, if I can actually get this...
There'll be none of that going in.
To open.
Can you do it?
No.
Do you want me to do it?
I should have done it beforehand, shouldn't I?
Have you got another one you can open?
No, I've not.
Give it to me.
See if you can do it.
You have to hold the phone, obviously.
Well, I'll have to hold the phone. Now you see,
Do you want the phone on you?
No, you can turn it. You can leave it like that, and I'll just hold it like that. Be easier. See, everything's going wrong today because I can't get the raspberry essence to open.
Nor can I.
And neither can David. So this is real fun.
Get me a sharp knife.
So we don't know what we do. I can't see what anybody's saying because the phone's obviously that way round. And also, if it wasn't that way round, it would be, watch me countertops. He's now sawing through it with a freaking knife. Have you managed to do it? Oh, you good boy.
Takes a real man.
Butch. So that's the raspberry essence, and you want about 2 teaspoons. Okay?
Hi, Anita.
That goes into your mixer. Afternoon, Anita. Alert, alert.
Hi, Lisa.
Into the mixer. And then whip that on high and let it whip until it becomes light and fluffy. Okay? That was a fabulous experience then. I couldn't open anything. Loved it. So do we have any questions whilst I am waiting for that to whip? Yay or nay?
Danny said, get a vodka down your neck. Fuck the raspberry essence.
Fuck the raspberry essence to get a vodka.
Hi, Liam.
Do you know, compared to Phil and Ollie, honestly, you couldn't swear and carry on like this on this morning, could you, honestly?
It's the same as 2 glugs,
Chris, What?
Chris said, is that the same as 2 glugs?
It's 2 glugs, yeah. 1 glug, 2 glug. 3 glugs and more.
How are you, Kyle?
How you doing, Anita, love? It had to be flirt alert today, Anita. It was either that or 3 hairs and a mop cap.
What's Nicholas say? See, David, you're very useful with the essence, yes?
Yeah, well, indeed.
Let's glue some vodka, PJ
Right.
said.
I'll bring that over so you all can... That is what you want it to go like, okay?
Put it on top of your head, see if it'll come out.
No, it's not meringue. Into that now goes your confectioner's sugar, your icing sugar, which on the internet says a pound. Okay?
Where do you get raspberry essence? Any supermarket, Misty?
Who was that?
Mitzi Lee.
Missy.
Missy Lee.
Missy. I think I got that one online, darling. But I know that some supermarkets do sell it. Okay? But I tend to buy all my essences, apart from vanilla, which is obviously available in all of them. I buy them online. Start your mixer off on slow so you don't get a cloud.
Dave said, can you use any essence? Well, I suppose you can, but it won't be raspberry then. Any essence.
Yes, but the raspberry cupcakes.
So you'd want to use raspberry, wouldn't you?
If you can't get all the raspberry essence, just make the frosting vanilla. Just put vanilla in it, okay?
PJ said, what about vodka cupcakes?
No. I can't stand things with booze in. Right.
Are you, Val? Dean's mum's watching.
So, what we have to do now is you've got to start adding more icing sugar or confectioner's sugar until this stiffens. And there's nothing worse if you can't get it stiff.
Jamie's asking, how can I make good homemade Yorkshire puddings? I've just tried making homemade toad and yole with flour, milk and eggs.
Right.
And it's come out like a sausage cake.
Yeah, well the easiest way to do it is, it must be plain flour.
Waitrose mixer,
and it's easy if you do my recipe, which is a cup of each. So that would be a teacup of flour, a teacup of milk and a teacup of eggs. Yeah? Beat them all together till you get a nice batter and put it in the fridge for as long as you possibly can. Okay, so it's really cold. Make sure that your tray that you're baking it in, either as Yorkshire puddings or as toad in the hole, is burning hot. Put the fat in, put it in the oven until smoke's coming off it. Tip it in till it really sizzles. Bingo.
What if they haven't got a teacup?
Works every time. Everybody's got a teacup. A teacup.
Not everybody's got a teacup.
Well, they must have. What do they drink out of?
You only had mugs till I was with you.
Oh, I don't think so. I've never had mugs in my life. Right, I'm just trying to.
Nicola said, I don't think you can get raspberry essence from Argos, but try Marks and Spencer's.
Well, Nicola, you don't know anything about Marks and Spencer's, do you? I don't think that you can't use your Argos card in Marks and Spencer's, can you, Nicola? So you have to just keep adding the icing sugar until it becomes thick, okay? This is the problem when I say like a pound of the icing sugar. It depends on the room temperature, it depends on the butter, it depends how fast everything's melting, and it's got to go stiff. You need everything, it doesn't work, as everybody knows, unless everything is stiff.
See, Chris said he doesn't have a teacup. Not everybody has a teacup.
Well, if you've not got a teacup then,
what about the cup measures?
A milk jug. Oh, I'm saying that because I have cup measures. So you see what I use are actual cup measures.
You don't drink tea, he said.
I have a set of cup measures. Well, what do you drink coffee from then? Don't tell me a mug.
A mug?
I can't stand people who drink out a mug.
It's Costco cup, probably. Costa cup.
Right, that's just getting there. We just need a little bit more.
Holly said she don't have a teacup. She's not that posh.
So nobody's got teacups. Well, then you're going to have to buy a set of measuring cups. That's the other way. Or something that's the same size. In other words, anything, a jam jar. But you don't want a huge, big jam jar. I'm trying to look around for something in the kitchen that's small. So if you've got a milk jug, you know, and what I'm saying is it's got to be the exact same amount. So the easiest way to measure it is in a cup. Okay, if you're making Yorkshire pudding.
James is asking, is there any way to weigh things up without scales?
No, unless you've got
cup measurements.
Cup measurements. Most of my recipes will come in cup measurements: 1 cup, 2 cup, a third of a cup.
Frightening, the fucking camera keeps going on there.
Easier. But no, unless you've got a set of kitchen scales, which I've got the big ones, and I have about 2 or 3 small ones in the cupboard.
Afternoon, Mr. Robberley.
Afternoon, Mr. Robberley. How are you?
Lady Di's watching as well.
Is she? Right, we're almost there with that. See, the thing is, you want this thick enough to pipe. If it's not thick enough, it won't pipe. And we are sort of there. Right, into that now, a little bit of pink food colouring because the raspberry, so you want it to be raspberry coloured. Don't get it on your fingers like I do.
Billy Raymond's watching.
Because it's a swine to get off and it's hard. It stains clothes.
Hey Mark.
Doesn't wash out. Which Mark?
Spain.
Hiya Mark.
Sorry I'm late, is it?
It's okay. How are you doing, love? Are you enjoying being allowed out?
Have you been to a pub yet?
I'm going to whip a bit more food colouring in.
Tiffany likes the kitchen.
Thank you, Tiff. Which Tiff?
Tiffany Wells.
Hiya, Tiff. You've not joined us on an afternoon for a while. So there's your frosting. Your frosting will come out like that. Okie doke. And then I'll just check the oven. Can you just let me through, my darling? Because the ones that have gone in the oven don't take that long, okay? And I don't want to overcook those to be able to show you ones that have just come from the oven. If you've not got a piping bag, use a Ziploc freezer bag like this and fill it and then just snip the corner off. Tiny hole. Don't cut a massive, massive big hole, okay? Usually I use a spatula to take stuff out and fill the piping bag, apart from frosting, because frosting I find goes absolutely everywhere. Don't overfill your piping bag neither. Don't be people. I've seen idiots fill it till it's to the top, and you can't work with it if it's like that. Okay. And then
Oh, Mark glad he's out.
who's out?
Mark.
He's glad he's out.
Yeah. You pee, he said.
Right. There are your
What are you
cupcakes.
cooking, John? John,
Now-
raspberry cupcakes, John.
Raspberry cupcakes we've done today, Joe. Really simple, really easy, and then decorate them. Now, I am absolutely obsessed with this at the moment. This is freeze-dried raspberries, when I can actually get the bag open.
Something else can't open.
No, I should have opened the bag. Everything's going wrong today. I should have opened the bag before we went on air. There we go, done it. Now these I can only buy online, okay? You just go onto Amazon or eBay and you'll find them. It's just freeze-dried raspberries. If you've not got these, leftover raspberries, lovely. Just pop a raspberry on the top of each one. I just actually like these because it's got a bit of a zing to it, okay? And don't overdo it because they are extremely expensive for what you're getting. What?
Billy Raymond said, my icing is dark. You did say a cup of colouring, didn't you?
Yeah, whole cup of colouring, Billy Raymond, yeah. So I'll show you, if you're going to use a raspberry, you could pop a raspberry on the top of each one.
They look nice for any occasion, don't they? We're taking deliveries, orders.
Yeah, I think I've got enough to do.
What else do you do?
Yeah.
You get up and get on the computer, that's it.
Yes, I do. I know it's terrible.
Yeah. Well, I'm slaving downstairs.
What are you slaving over?
Well, I've been to the garden centre today, you've not even noticed.
The garden centre?
Yeah.
Oh, to do that bathtub thing? Oh, right.
I've got the sale.
So that's it. You've been to a garden centre. So there you go. Raspberry cupcakes. Quick, very, very easy. No messing about. Any fool can actually make
Andrew
them.
said this is not helping my diet.
He said, well, you don't have to eat all of them, Andrew. That's what I always say to everyone, just have one. Because if you break the calorie content down to one, it's very, very little.
PJ said she'll have 2 dozen to Spain, please.
I'll send him over. So that's it. It's really, really simple to do.
Hi, Chris.
Very, very easy. You can't really go wrong. Do you want to try one, darling?
How can I try one when I'm holding a camera?
Well, you'll be able to sit down in a moment and I'll put you one out and then you can sort of...
I'd like to pick my own.
Well, I'd pick one for you.
I don't know where your fingers have been.
I know exactly where my fingers have been. In bleach all morning.
Are you, Busby? Are you not
Are
in
you,
Greece,
Buzz?
love?
You've not gone to Greece, Busby? My God, I don't know what to go there for anyway. It's a shithole. Right.
Stephen said, who
coffee.
eats all the food Terri makes?
Who eats all the food? The house on my mum, David.
I eat
Well,
a bit of it.
as I said, that makes 24 cupcakes. So I only bring out that amount. The rest of them are frozen so that they can stay in the freezer.
Are you sitting down yet?
No, I'm going to go around there because I've got to keep checking the oven as well. So
Well, you'd have to go that side.
Yes, I am going to go that side. Look.
Don't come back past me now.
So I don't have everything out at once. There's not like 24 cupcakes in a Tupperware box. I have just the amount that we need.
It does work.
What works?
Oh no, rotate your device. Fuck off, you idiot. I thought I could turn it back the other way.
No. So there we go. Dave's going to try one now and let you know. Yeah. Can you see the fruit inside, or have you cut it in the part where you can't see the fruit?
Yeah, inside there.
Yeah. Nice.
Lovely.
I'm saying that he had one last night as well, so because I'd done some in advance, so we had them last night after dinner as well. But if you're going to serve cupcakes for dessert, always remove the paper. Don't put them on a plate in a paper because you can't eat it with a fork. You've got to start pulling it all over your face. And the more frosting, the better, in my opinion. To me, the cake is only a vehicle to hold fabulous frosting. That's it.
Ali says hello. Hi, Ali.
Hi, Ali. So, do we have any questions? Anything anybody wants to discuss? Anything anybody wants to set me off to kick off about, or what? Because that I actually thought was going to be a lot longer bake. That took us exactly. Obviously, we're not waiting for the oven.
30 minutes nearly.
It's not even took us that really. But if you're going to bring them out, when they come out the oven, I will show you again when they come out the oven. David's finished the whole thing in 2 forkfuls.
Gone.
When they do come out of the oven, obviously don't pipe and ice them or put frosting on them as soon as they come out of the oven. You've got to let them go stone cold, okay? And if you are going to use the papers, don't use those papers that I've used. Those papers, by the way, that I'm using are really expensive if you buy them online, and I found those in Home Bargains. And I think they're £1 for 15, which is really cheap, because those ones that peel away very easily are very expensive.
Sarah said, share some more funny Benidorm stories.
Share some more funny Benidorm stories.
They should be for the night time, really.
Well, they should really, and I can't quite think of one just offhand at the moment.
Busby, do you want one? I'll bring you one down, love. I don't mind.
It's like, we'll send you one over for you and Ali in a bit, Buzz. It's like somebody says, do that, and you can't just think of something off the top of your head. I mean, I remember when we did live in Benidorm and we had our bar, which was on Calle San Miguel, the centre stage, and when we had that bar, we didn't do food or anything. It was like here, and it was a tiny little bar. So we used to have friends for dinner, and if it was summer, we'd eat on the terrace outside, and I'd laid the terrace for about 20 people, which was friends of ours, all having dinner twice a week outside. And people used to come down and ask for a menu, didn't they, David?
Yeah.
So
sit down and ask for a menu.
Can we have a menu, please? Is that the special of the day? So it was quite camp.
Mr. Robley said, can you let me live in the corner of your rooftop so you can just feed me?
Of course I would, darling. If I could come and live in your conservatory, which you know I adore. So, anything else? I'm going to just check the oven.
No. Have you ever cooked for anyone famous?
Yes. Over the years, a few friends. I used to cook for Danny LaRue a lot. I used to cook for... Just a sec. Just a couple of minutes longer. I used to cook, Danny used to like things I made. I used to cook and take it round for Danny. And I used to cook for food as well. Uncle Frank used to love things that I make because he liked quite basic food.
Busby, I'll text you when I'm leaving.
Well, quite a lot of, some friends that are, I wouldn't say they were famous because I don't think of them as famous, they're just friends. So, yeah. Anything else?
Holly wants to come and live here. Food looks amazing.
Well, it's only a freaking cupcake. Anybody, if I keep saying this to anybody, everybody's saying, oh, I like watching, but I can't make them, and everything goes wrong. If you follow it exactly as I have shown you, it's not rocket science. It's not watching, you know, a television show where obviously they've got another one under the counter that they're whipping out, and they're not going to show you the one that's actually come from the oven. Have you ever noticed they don't do that? You never actually see it go in the oven and them hang about like this, because they can't, obviously, for filming purposes. So you don't know whether the one that's gone in the oven has come out, and I'm a swine for that. I actually freeze frame a television programme, photograph it, and then wait for them to show the one out of the oven to see if they're in exactly the same order. And half the time they're not, because it's a completely different set of food they put in, because they've cut the camera and they've gone to a different shot, and I can't stand it. So if you follow my stuff, it's so easy, and I've worked on these, like I said, with the there's a lot of recipes on the internet and in books for raspberry cupcakes like that with fresh raspberries in, and every one I tried, which I tried a lot, they didn't come out right. Every one, the fruit sunk, it burst, some said to mash the fruit up, which was hideous. So I've played with it and played with it and played with it, and realised that if you freeze the fruit, pop it onto the top, it will automatically sink in as the cake rises round it, in the same principle as making a fruit cobbler. Okay, so if you're not a cook, you can do it if you follow my recipe, like I've just said to you with the Yorkshire pudding recipe. Cup, cup, cup. So if it's a cup that size, which would make an awful lot, cup of milk, cup of eggs, cup of plain flour.
Egg cup.
Not an egg cup. How would you get an egg in an egg cup? You'd probably make one Yorkshire pudding with that.
Would you?
Yeah, because you probably would get one egg in an egg cup.
Depends on the size of the...
So, you know, but you can use any... I mean by a cup an equal measure, unless you've got measuring cups.
Played with what, Chris? If you could have two guests, living or dead, to join you and David at a dinner party, who would they be apart from Andrew, Robley and Cherie said? Apart from himself and Sherry.
Has Andrew asked for this?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'd like to have my dad for dinner again, because my dad used to love me to cook for him, and he loved my food. Because my dad was a fabulous cook as well. Gosh, that's really hard. That is really, really hard. Sat through a fabulous dinner party once with Terri Wogan at Stuart Morris's house. That was just hysterical, and I'd like to recreate that. I'd love that. That was absolutely wonderful, because he was one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. He was funnier off stage than he was on it. I'd like to probably sit for dinner with Danny again. If you could actually sit through Danny's stories recounting the same thing over and over again, lad, let me tell you. That whole thing, that was camp. Anything like that I like. And I don't like, even though I don't seem to do as many formal dinners as I used to do. I used to be really big on formal dinners with all the silverware and everything. I don't tend to do that often anymore. I like really casual dinners where people come and we all sit around the table and you eat and chat and carry on, you know. So I love to serve family style. I like everything so everybody could take their own. I hate plated food. I hate giving somebody on a plate, because sometimes you give somebody too much or too little, and then they feel a bit insulted if they don't eat it all, or they feel that there's not enough and they're still hungry. So I like everybody to be able to help themselves.
Paul White had said, what cup size are you?
What cup size am I? Double D.
John said, how do you get your cakes to stay so flat on top?
If you use the ice cream scoop.
That's okay, Jean, no worry, love.
If you use the ice cream scoop, love, every one will come out exactly the same size. If you start doing it with a spoon, you're not going to get two the same, and you'll get a muffin top. They'll rise too much. Also, if they rise in and they're going very beveled, your oven's too hot. It's, you know, not long and slow, because it's not meat. But if the oven's exactly right, and just keep checking. And don't, when you open the oven, drag it out a cake to check, because you'll make it drop. Okay?
What's Chris say? Replying to your mum, hey Peg, hope you're doing okay and your ears have recovered after the terrible language on Sunday. Chris ignores, she's Deadwood.
Don't be so rude.
She likes that. Are you Richard?
Richard PM.
Yeah.
Hi, Rich.
Are you Jean? Doesn't matter if you're at work, love, don't worry.
Is Jean Pascal at work?
Yeah.
Are you at work again, Jean? So that looks horrible, that tissue. It's raspberries all
like a
over
rag.
it. What? Don't be so rude
like a rag.
again. So yeah, that was it. I do like dinner parties. I love to have people round to dinner. I really do. That's the biggest thing during lockdown, not going out, that has drove me insane, that I've not been able to have guests over for dinner. That really, because it's usually 2-3 times a week we have people for dinner. So that's the biggest thing that has drove me absolutely insane, of not having the house full of people. It's not the fact of going out or going to visit people, because I don't do that anyway. So it's the thing of having people over. So, and I love to have people around the table.
Frank.
I actually like to cook while people are
Frank's
there.
from America's watching.
Hi, Frank.
Looking lovely in lavender and lilac, he said.
Oh, thank you, my darling. Lady in lavender.
Yes, I did. Thank you, Mark.
I feel like a cast off from God, I forgot her name now. What's she called? I feel like Janis Joplin's stunt double in this jacket.
Afternoon, Black Ivory. How are you, my darling?
Right, and there we go. We've got a tray to come from the oven, so you can see them as they come out of the oven.
All flat.
Is how they will come out. All flat, all exactly the same size. Right, if you're going to cool cupcakes, do not, and I repeat this, do not take them from the cake tin and put them on a wire rack to cool. Let them cool in the tin, okay?
Ivory, come and get one if you
want
want
one. It will slightly continue the cooking time, but they're not going to dry out because they've got the paper around them. If you take them from the tin, they'll start to move. Okie doke. It's not a sponge cake that's dropped out. But that recipe also will make one flat tray bake. You can use the exact same thing and use it in a tray bake with the raspberries on top. It will do the same thing. Or just as a plain vanilla cake. Or you can make two sandwiches, two pieces to sandwich together, okay, to make like a Victoria sponge. If you're going to make Victoria sponge, use that recipe. Don't start doing Victoria sponges that you're creaming methods and you've got to cream sugar and butter together till it becomes white and fluffy. It's a load of old balls. It really is. Honestly, it just takes so long. And who's got the time? The whole point of being able to cook at home, my theory on cooking everything myself, was the fact I've learned the quickest and easiest way to do it. And it's a cheats way and an easy way. And to actually start fannying about and having millions of things out and creaming stuff and you're stuck in there, no, couldn't be bothered. So if you follow mine, it's quick and easy and works.
Busby said I got rag on the brain. Busby, I think it's because I'm coming to see you.
More than likely.
Chris,
she's enough to bring anybody on.
Chris has said you've gone from golden lady to lavender lady.
Golden lady to lavender lady, I like that.
Have you had them on a low light since last Wednesday, Paul said?
Yeah, I put my sprouts on. It's nearly Christmas, so I whipped the sprouts on last night. I've got them on a gas ring outside.
Andrew Robley said you look like Rue McClellan.
Very Rue McClellan. Yeah, it is actually. It's very Rue, isn't it, really? Yeah, I never thought that. I've got these in multiple colours. and
Jesus, Peggy, that's took you long enough to reply. Multiple
shades, haven't I? I've got these in browns and blacks and floral ones and loads of them. But if it's a bit chilly, and I'm not saying it's chilly today, but it's not exactly a bright sunny day, and I felt really ridiculous in just bare arms, so I thought, swing it on. Yeah, little cover up, as you do. So do we have anything else?
No.
No. Highly disappointed. Highly.
Why?
Well, I am usually. There's cavalcades of questions firing out at this time of day, and I can't get through. And usually they ask in the middle of the actual quantities.
Maybe they're waiting for the nighttime ones.
Quantities and the baking. We're not doing another one of those for a while because I'm ill.
Well, if you do, you just don't drink. Simple as.
Oh, that'd be stupid. If you sat at a bar, what do you do? Sip. Can't be doing with people that do that. I can't be doing with people that go out and they drink, one drink. Just bolt it down. Choke it down like medicine. Dr. Vicuna said, do it. It's like medicine. So, I don't know what we're going to make next week because it's getting difficult to make things that I can make within the hour. And everything I'm making now seems to be, I'm doing quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker for you.
I think it's something to make next week.
Oh, will you?
Yeah, I'll bake.
We might do a savoury next week. Okay, we were waiting for a stand that the phone goes in, so I could get David then to help. If that arrives, we will do that. I was going to say something else and I can't remember what.
Yes, Andrew, we did.
What, Andrew, what?
Did you have to keep Danny in the pink champagne?
Don't. Please. I could tell you stories there, my darling, that would make... If you know what it's like. And it wasn't pink actually at the time. It was bolting back bottles of Lanson like it was water. Because it was sponsored by, he had a sponsorship with Lanson at the time because it was in the programme. And we went to a hotel in Blackpool. Never again. Never, ever again. after the show, we just finished at the pier and we went to, I can't remember what the hotel was called, it was some friend of a friend of a friend. And they invited us back to the hotel and we got there anyway. Of course, Dan kicks off. They asked him, would you like a drink? And it was basically, when I say hotel, it was a terrace house with a bar in the front room. And then a girl singing in the window. It was chaos. The whole thing was chaos. He kicked off royal because they didn't have any champagne. And then they said, was there anything else you'd like to drink? And he said, yes, I want a very large glass. I mean, if you want to, like a yard of ale, he was sort of pointing out, of whiskey. And he was absolutely blotto on whiskey. And the girl that was singing in the bay window, I may add, I was cutting up at this at the time anyway, I'm shaking laughing. And he dropped the drink till it went all over me and jumped up and ripped the microphone out of the girl's hand because she was singing Quiet Please, There's a Lady on Stage. And the story she told about the song was completely wrong. And of course he knew the real story and ripped the microphone from her hand and El Cor, which by this time the girl, she was only booked to do an hour and she buggered off. It was absolutely chaos. So yeah, and I've had him at the house when he's done that and I thought, I'll get plenty in. And no, there was never plenty, was there? Ever.
No. John's asking, are we doing costume changes on Sunday? We will do, John.
Yes, John, we'll do a couple of costume changes.
We'll try anyway.
Yeah,
I'm not
saying I'm going to do every one because that's absolutely ridiculous. I'll probably do 2 or 3 costume changes on Sunday. And some of my new, this is outrageous, some of my new summer costumes came for fittings yesterday. So weird that I can't go to them for fittings. So David had to drive all the way to Peter's, who makes my costumes.
I got them, when did I get them? Thursday?
Picked them up on Thursday,
Friday.
Brought them here while we have to fit. So my mummy's pinning them to refit for me. And once they've been pinned, then we've had to photograph it on me in places that are not quite right or I want that changing. And now they've got to be shipped back to Peter's while he does
driven back
fit,
by someone.
and then brought back here for the final fit, then go back. It's absolutely ridiculous, It really is. But I've got to say, they are beautiful.
I'm like a pit pony.
Yeah, I like a pit pony, aren't you? But they are nice, aren't they, the stuff I've had done this
Gary
year.
will have to catch up. Gary's sorry he's late. Came on late, sorry.
Well, it was Gary that actually...
He had all the stuff ready as well.
Gary is the one who actually decided that we were the Richard and Judy or Phil and Fern. So, hi Gary, nice to have you with us. So the costumes are nice though, aren't they, David, for this year? Very different.
Yes. Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah, very, very different than anything I've had before.
When they're done.
So when they're finished, we will debut them. I'm hoping we'll get to debut them and be open.
Oh dear.
You never know, do you? Because the way everybody's talking, it could be in like 4 or 5 weeks' time we're allowed to reopen.
Or 4 or 5 years.
Touch wood, because I am ready. I am ready. So
Sarah Jane wants you to include Cher on Sunday, please.
Yeah, we'll probably do. Cher will probably be one of the costume changes.
We won't tell you. It'll be a nice surprise.
It'll be a surprise. No doubt Dusty will be there. It'll probably be Dusty and Cher that I'll dress up as because they're the simplest costume change. I think. Are they?
He wouldn't know, actually.
No, I wouldn't know. Would you? Well, are they or aren't they?
Bashed my head against Ed backstage and Danny insisted I go to our Stockport casualty. Who's the manager's dilemma? That Jonathan Montrell.
Who's telling you this story?
Jonathan Montrell.
Jonathan Montrell. What were you in with Danny at Stockport, Jonathan? Now that's really got me intrigued. That were you actually in the show at Stockport with him, or was it the pantomime at Stockport? Because if you were, I've met you there many times because both of the shows at the time, if I wasn't doing a show, he insisted I was there every freaking night.
Philip said a wardrobe tour would be a great video.
A wardrobe tour? Oh God. It's difficult to do that because not all the costumes are here. We have a storage place that most of the costumes are in. I only keep a small quantity here. So that would be quite difficult. And to walk you around a self-storage unit is a bit boring. Because it's not beautifully laid out. They're just on huge rails with sheets over everything. It
was wardrobe and it was Aladdin at the Davenport.
At the Davenport, well then I have met you there, my darling. And I came to the opening night of that show with Thelma Barlow. Used to play Mavis in Coronation Street. And me and Thelma came to that. And I was dating one of the dancers from Danny's previous show at the time. And we came to that. And wasn't it the idiots from Neighbours that were in that show?
He said he tried not to bleed on the fur on the back seat.
Oh God, she'd have killed you. But was it the idiots from Neighbours were in that? And I had my friend Shelley with me as well. And that Bronwyn girl, she was Bronwyn in the show, but I can't remember what her real name was. And I can't remember the boy's name. He had blonde
Neighbours or
hair.
Home and Away, Bronwyn.
Neighbours she was from. It was the Neighbours cast. And she was dating the other guy from Neighbours with the curly hair that was supposed to be Kylie Minogue's brother. I know it by the character, but not by the real name. Danny was absolutely hysterical because they were on obscene amounts of money because they were from Neighbours. And at the after show party, the Bronwyn girl's boyfriend, the one with the curly hair that was supposed to be Kylie Minogue's brother in the programme, stood on my friend Shelley's foot. And she had strappy shoes on, and as he did, he had these great big, like, clod-hopping boots on, and he actually cut all the top of her foot. And
Rachel.
That was it, and she bent it.
Mark Stevens.
Mark Stevens, that's it.
Rachel something left early.
That's it. Yeah, and she played Bronwyn, and she was dating the guy with the blonde curly hair from Neighbours, very, very tall. Had a record out, because he was sat in the back of a truck playing a guitar, and he stood on my friend Shelley's foot. And she said, I'm awfully sorry. She said, you fucking look like you are, and belted him with her handbag. And as she belted him with her handbag, she chipped his tooth. So the whole thing was a hoo-ha. And that was on the opening night party in that bar upstairs. But I was there for that pantomime because at the time I was in club. So I was in Club Cabaret that Christmas. So I was actually off early enough to come and see that, and I used to go from there then to the club and get ready and go on stage. So I was virtually at every single freaking performance, and every night I had to sit and say, you were marvellous, you were wonderful. And then he'd ring me at 6 o'clock in the freaking morning. Honest to God, 6 o'clock in the morning. He'd probably not even into bed, he was probably still up.
Why am I touching the screen to look for comments? And it's making it go...
Make it go what, love?
Zooming in or out. Oh, it's not stopped now.
Oh, right. So it's done something new. So, yeah, how funny that you were on the wardrobe there, my God. Happy days, dear heart. Happy days. I could reel and decant stories for many, many times. Especially where Lala was concerned. Many, many, many stories. Too many years of friendship. So... mad as a box of frogs, but loved him. So, do we have anything else?
No.
No. Well, we nearly sorted at time anyway. So don't forget, if you do the bake, photograph them and show them me, please. I like to see if you've done it and it's come out the same, because technically it should come out exactly the same. All right? And then next week, I think we'll try something savoury, okay? Depending on the weather. If I'd have known it was going to be cold today, well, not cold.
I told you it was.
If it was going to, yeah, you just said rain. If I knew it was going to drop in temperature so vastly, yes, I would have done something savoury that was warm and hot, because I'd planned on that. But then I thought, well, I can't start doing steak pies and things when it's boiling outside. People will think I'm insane. So we'll see what the weather's like next week, and I'll try and guess to do it. So if you've got any other questions, let me know now. If not, we are going to sign off very, very shortly. You've got like 5 minutes left with us. And that's it. Nothing else?
No.
No? Nobody
I'll tell you if there was.
Oh, would you? I thought the way you were looking down, then you were looking for something to roll up.
No, I'm just, my arm's aching.
Oh, okay. You need a thing. You need one of those selfie sticks.
I need to get off the phone. That's what I need to do.
We need a selfie stick thing.
It's my bad arm as well.
Well, then it's shocking. Right then, we're going to sign off, and we will see you at Weekend on Sunday with a live show, live from the George Tavern.
We might do live, and we might do questions afterwards at the bar.
Yeah, we'll see what we do. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so we will be live on stage with you.
It might be another 6 hours long then as well.
No, it won't be 6 hours long. No. 6 hours was absolutely ridiculous. Who can ramble on for 6 hours non-stop?
And you, Chris.
So we'll see you on Sunday, live from the George Tavern, 42 George Street, on stage, 8 o'clock, full show, possibly a couple of costume changes, probably me having a nervous breakdown halfway through them, and I will see you then. So say tra, David.
Bye, David.
Bye, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us. Bye.